You need to be as happy about building the pipeline as you are about closing the deals. It's about creating relationships, right? And if you're not as excited about creating a new relationship as you are as cashing a check, like it's just never going to work. Don't worry about the sales, worry about doing a good job for everybody and actually putting the work in and enjoying the process, and you'll be a great agent.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Aaron Wittenstein, and I would like to welcome you to Vulcan7 Roadmap. This is where we meet agents across the country to learn how to take 7, 12, 53, 96, 137 listings a week, okay? So we have all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, even though he's out of town this weekend on a wedding and still made time to chat with us, my guy, Sam Cohen. Sam, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing great, Aaron. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So all right. So just, where are you right now?
I'm in a place called Sheridan, Wyoming.
What time do you start working in the morning?
7 a.m. I get to the office at 7 a.m.
You turn the lights on, right?
Yeah, I come through the door at 7 a.m.
7 a.m. And what time do you start prospecting?
15 before 8.
Okay, got it. So within that first 45 minutes or hour before prospecting, okay, what does that look like? Because that, to me, because I turn the lights on as well in my office, that's kind of like my Zen time, if you will, to get in the zone, all that type of stuff. Get the stuff out of the way. What does that first hour look like to you?
The first thing I do is I read whatever script I'm going to work on for that day 5 times. Then I write it out. I am part of a role play group, so I get rotated on different partners every week at 7:30. I end up on a role play. The minute that role play is done, I then start dialing. I'll initially look at expireds and I'll kind of go through them real quick to see if there's like any addresses that are really good, because I want to jot down the ones that I want to repeatedly call, because those are like great listings that I'd like to, potentially get the opportunity to work.
Got it. So like the moment you come in, it's basically get your mind right and then get on the phones and make your money right, correct?
Yes. Well, coffee first, always coffee first, right?
But that doesn't even need to be said now, does it? You gotta get your coffee on. You gotta get your coffee on.
Yeah.
So all right. So dialing session. How long do you typically dial for?
A minimum of 2 hours.
Okay, got it.
So basically from 8 to 10.
Okay. What are your expectations for yourself within that 2-hour window?
That's really evolved over time, right? Like in the beginning, it's just like knuckling through and being able to sit there for 2 hours. Then it's like making contacts. But like for me, I want to set some kind of appointment, at least one appointment or one follow-up, like decent follow-up call, like somebody I talk to that I feel like with repeated follow-up, I will eventually set an appointment with.
Right now, on average, how many appointments are you setting a week, would you say?
I'd say with the 2 hours, like appointments, maybe like one every 10 days.
Okay. And but how many leads are you generating then? Because it sounds like the leads is the most important thing to you right now. Is that right?
Well, yeah, and I think that was one of the biggest turning points, right? Like I think when I first got started, just I've only been doing this now for about 10 months. I've ran a pretty successful business prior to this, but I never did calls. I had never really learned about them. And then I started getting into this, which I love it. And, at the first you think you're going to like memorize these scripts and you're going to get so good at these scripts, you're going to convert people that don't want to talk to you. And I don't know why. And I feel like everybody who starts thinks that, but that's not the process, right? It's, I feel like it's making really good notes and getting a hold of people that will talk to you and having follow up. And I think I'm starting to learn now too, like most expireds on average are about 2 months away from relisting. They need some time to go through whatever they go through. FSBOs, you're not going to just talk to them on the first phone call and they're going to be like, yeah, forget selling on my own. I'll sell with you. It's following up, maybe making an appointment, going over there. It's just kind of understanding everything. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, one thing that I've always said throughout my career, it's probably my mantra for real estate, is you have to be as happy about building the pipeline as you are about closing deals.
Can you just say that again for those in the back? Would you mind saying that again?
You need to be as happy about building the pipeline as you are about closing the deals.
See,
You
it's
need to
about
be it's about creating relationships, right? And if you're not as excited about creating a new relationship as you are as cashing a check, like it's just never going to work.
It's true. And I mean, all right. So here's the one question that I get a lot is they're like, what does your follow up system look like? A lot of people, they know how to lead gen. They're they can pick up the phone, they can make the phone calls. But when it comes down to the follow up systems in place, they just don't have them. I'm assuming it's not as, what's the word? Difficult as you would think. Yet, what does your follow up system look like?
Vulcan7 is phenomenal with the follow up. So I use Vulcan7 and basically, I could just set up a following appointment or today's calls, it's called. And then basically, an appointment is an appointment, something that I need to strictly remember. And I have that on my day to day calendar where I can go through and I make sure I have a very specific reason I'm calling. Or if it's just people with time that, I'm hoping to get a little bit further, I'll just put them in that follow up call section. And then if they do become a really like strong lead and I've called them twice or something and they remember exactly who I am, then I'll just move them over to my CRM and I'll put them in the appropriate stage.
So, okay. So how often, like you get somebody, you talk to them today, they're like, we're going to do something in a month, let's just say. Okay. What does that phone call process or email or whatever process look like for that month?
Well, great. I'm going to go ahead and send you over all my information. It'll have my website on there, and I will keep you in mind, and I'll follow up with you in between now and a month to make sure there's nothing you need in the meantime. I'll probably call them back in 5 days.
Got it. And then what? Because they're like, okay, so they're like, this guy told me, I can't even talk. He said follow up within a month. They call up in 5 days. Everybody's be like, that's a little quick, don't you think? Like, what does that conversation look like?
Well, they just said they want to relist in a month. They didn't say to call back in a month, And even if they tell you to call back in a month, I'm going to tell you on average, you think they like know who you are. They're getting so many of these calls that I'm just going to call back and say, hey, Sam Cohen, you and I chatted. You said you wanted to be listed in a month. We agreed that I'd follow up right now. I'm just making sure that there's nothing else that you need in the meantime.
So you just throw out what not throw out what they say, but it's like you're sending your information out, and then less than a week later you're following up with them just to make sure that you don't lose it. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. And they don't really know. You have to think if you call a brand new expired, they've gotten 100 calls that day. And it's a little redundant, right? But if they're answering the phone for you, even through all that mayhem, I think the one thing I'm going to take away from that particular incident is they're answering the phone when a million people are calling them. They're for sure going to answer the phone for me in 5 days when most of these people quit.
Exactly, because we all know like the process is just dwindles and dwindles and dwindles and dwindles and dwindles. All right, so would you be open to doing a quick expired role play? I haven't done one in a bit on on Roadmap. Would you be open to that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, give me a call. Give me a ring.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Good morning, Aaron.
Yes.
Hey, good morning, Aaron. This is Sam. I'm a realtor over at Huntington and Ellis. I saw your home was recently expired from the MLS. I was just wondering, when do you plan on relisting this home?
I think we're going to hold off for probably the next couple of months. I'm just not. I'm sick of people coming through my house.
You're sick of people coming through your house and you're thinking of holding off for a few months. What was the reason for wanting to sell in the first place?
Like I said, we're just ready for a change. But I do think that if we do relist, we may relist with Sally Mae. She's done business with us in the past, so I do appreciate your phone call, though.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to call with me as well. But I do see that you had it listed with Sally Mae prior for about 6 months and the sale didn't happen. Let me ask you, what was your timeline for wanting to move?
Um, I mean, we'd like to be out within the night. I mean, we wanted to be out already. It just didn't work out.
Okay, so if Sally Mae had it listed for 6 months and your goal was to be moved already, don't you think it'd be in your best interest to possibly interview more than one agent just to make sure that you have the right fit?
Yeah, but I mean, what would you do? I mean, what would you do differently?
Well, I mean, that's a great thing to ask. I'd love to go through all that with you. I'm fully confident I can get this home sold for you, and I would be able to help you get moved into your new place. I'd like to discuss that all in person. Do you happen to have a time either today or tomorrow that would work for you for me to swing by and show you?
Well, I mean, between you and me, all right, she was giving us a steal of a deal on this thing. Okay, how much do you charge?
As far as commission, I never discuss that over the phone, but the great thing for you to know is it's always negotiable.
Okay, all right. I mean, if I guess if you want, I mean, we're not signing anything.
Oh, I would never expect you to commit to me prior to me even coming to the home. I just want to come by, show you exactly what I can do, show you my track record, and tell you how I would be able to get your home sold in the time frame that you want.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome. You could stop by, tomorrow at 3 o'clock
Okay, great. At 3 o'clock, and your wife would be home at 3 p.m.
a.m. Actually,
You want me to come over at 3 a.m.?
yes, we're early risers.
Wonderful. I normally wake up at 4, but I don't have a problem waking up at 2. I'll swing right by. I'll be there at 2:45.
Sounds like a plan. I'll see you then. I had to throw a little wrinkle at you. No, it's funny. Yeah, imagine that someone said, "Be at my house at 3 p.m." No, a.m.
Yeah.
So I can tell you're practicing. It just comes off the top of your head. You're doing it. How often are you role playing daily right now, or what is that?
Yeah, I do it daily, and I think the big part for me, at least, is it. I think it depends on how you learn. I like the role playing, right? I think, but I like writing them out. I think writing them out when I'm physically after studying it 5 times and then I write it out. I think that kind of gets me there. And I like role playing with some people better than others. Those people that are so tough. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. We make a bulk of calls. Like if somebody's just being so rude and like just like completely, but they're going through the call with me, I'm probably just going to try and set a follow up call before I try and set the appointment. Even if it's in 3 days, whatever it is, I'm going to wait for them to calm down when they're not getting a million phone calls, because those people are not the ones that you're actually, at least from my experience, that I'm going to be able to get to sign with me.
Right. So, do you have a favorite objection handler that you like to handle?
Well, I mean, it just kind of depends which one. I mean, I love the commission objection handler,
Yeah.
but I like it in person. And it's just very simple. Are you more concerned with commissions or netting the most money? Because I
Right.
have a great track record for netting people top dollar, and especially with like for sale by owners and things like that. But even when people bring it up, the other part of the objection handler is what, how could you trust an agent to stand up for the dollar amount that you want when they can't even stand up for their own commissions? I'm confident to stand up for my worth. Do you feel that I can sell your home? It's pretty simple, right? And you need to be able to do that. I will say this. I've gotten expireds. I will say my greatest success has been just listed, just sold.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Well, especially if you're already doing a lot of business in a neighborhood, like I just put a listing up in a neighborhood, and I already do a lot of business up there. I called all the neighbors. I held an open house. I had them come by and see me. I had the agents on my team do the rest of them, but I definitely started off on the first couple weekends doing them myself and calling everybody, inviting them. That gets me in front of their face. Now I'm having more hits. Now I just got another listing. I'm going to call again. We're doing a price reduction on the other house, so I'm going to go ahead and call around, let them know about the price reduction and the incentives to buying the home, and to see if they again to check in again to see if they know anybody that wants to move in the neighborhood. Then I'm going to call with this other listing, which is a rare listing that I actually normally do get somebody to tell me that they know somebody. I'll get that. Then I'll get the just solds. I'll send out the mailers. I'll do the calls, and then I'll probably get another one. And like when you're working one area in specific, like it will just start compiling. Like you're so in tuned with these people, and not only that, you genuinely know the neighborhood, because when you're doing that much sales, like your value's there just through your experience.
All right. So let's say you sell 123 Main Street. Okay. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
You list 123 Main Street. You're going to do an open house. You have one price reduction on it, and you close it. All right. Are you doing 4 phone calls to the same neighborhood?
Well, it just kind of depends on the house, right? If it sells really quickly, like on this price reduction, it's it's an expensive house. It's a $1.5 million house, and we're doing a substantial price drop. So I feel that that's good to call all the neighbors, especially since this is the second most expensive neighborhood in the area. So maybe I've noticed a lot of times that people that live in this area like staying in it, and maybe they want to upsize. And now maybe this is affordable enough for them. So I feel that it's a good phone call. But normally I just do the just listed. And when I do the just listed, I don't just do the normal just listed. I'll just call and kind of say, hey, good morning, Aaron. This is Sam. I'm your neighbors, the Weinstein family's realtor. We're holding an open house this weekend from 11 to 3 on both Saturday and Sunday. And the Weinstein family told me to personally call you and invite you to the open house. You think you can swing by? It builds a connection, right? Like you're there. And I do tell my clients that I'm going to call the neighborhood, and I ask them if you know if I should invite everybody in the neighborhood, and I tell them about the pros. And a lot of times you will get a buyer, and they say, yeah, please call the whole neighborhood. So really, my clients are asking me to call, right? So it's a great thing. Plus, also you get a lot of traffic in the open house, and it does help your seller. So I'm not just like doing it for me, I'm doing it for my sellers as well, because I do want to sell the home, and I do want to get them top dollar, and I do want to get them as much exposure as possible.
All right, so let's say, for example, you have a listing in area 1. Let's call it area 1, okay? And that property you were discussing right there. How many neighbors do you? Because we all know that open houses should be done to get listings as well, listings in the neighborhood, which is very smart. So, how many people sellers usually come? Like, if you call 100 people, how many do you think would come through? Ballpark.
I think in this particular neighborhood, I think I called 5 different subdivisions, and it was probably about 500 people, and I probably got 15 people in the door.
That's not bad. And I mean, and out of those 15 people, that could be one potential seller, because 500 people, that's what, 3, 4, 5 hour shift, to call those people.
Yeah. I mean, I think what I did is I just took a subdivision for the week, and I called each subdivision Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then by the end of Friday, I was doing the open houses Saturday, Sunday.
Got it. What does your just listed phone call look like?
Exactly what I did. And then from there, it's just, I go into Mike Ferry scripts, to be honest with you. But yeah, I always start it with the open house. From there, if they go, well, I don't know, we really can't swing by. Well, do you know any friends or family that are looking into moving into the neighborhood? It's a great home. Oh, well, no, we don't really know anybody looking to move in the neighborhood. Well, thanks for taking the time to think about that. Just quick question. Have you thought about moving recently? Well, no, we're not thinking about moving. And then you just go through the script, right? But the one good thing is I feel that you've made a little bit more of a connection by saying, a family. And a lot of people in these neighborhoods know their neighbors too. So it's not like, so I think for me, it's good.
Perfect. And are you mailing them out a card or something, or what are you doing as follow up with them?
Well, in this particular neighborhood, I do a really big, expensive mailer piece every month. I really like this neighborhood. I used to live in it. I actually moved away from it and built another house. But, I still like it, because when they were creating this neighborhood, I was the first one to pinpoint it. And I was the first one to buy a house in any of the subdivisions when they started building.
So they know that at this point you're ingrained there. They know who you are. And when you pick up the phone, odds are they know Sam, right?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, I think there's been a lot of turnover, and I think that I didn't have any business in there for a while, and I was kind of not honing in on it as much as I could. And you'd be surprised how quick you can lose traction.
Oh, I can just imagine. All right, my
But I'm
friends.
building it back now.
Hey, there you go. And I know you will do it, just like the slopes on the cold plunge.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh yeah. All right, my friend. So let's say someone pops by your desk, knocks on your door, and is like, it's brand new agent, brand new to the business, knocks on your door. Sam, what's one piece of advice that you have for me as a new agent? What would that be?
Long-term consistency with whatever your schedule is. The longer you can be consistent with that schedule, the more successful you're going to be. I think a lot of people overthink this stuff, and just having a strong schedule is probably the most important.
It's easy enough right there. All right, my friend, I want to tie this up in a nice little bow here. Okay. You got a lot of it. We crammed a lot of information here into 25 minutes. What's your final last words for Vulcan7 Nation?
Just learn to enjoy the process. It's difficult at times, but Most of the top agents all do this. So it is a great thing. And then also, the one thing I love about Vulcan 7 and MFO and everything that kind of ties in with these programs is literally the best part about it is you want to be the best agent you can be. Like, don't worry about the sales, worry about doing a good job for everybody and actually putting the work in and enjoying the process, and you'll be a great agent.
There we go, man. 100%. All right. So someone's
Yeah.
moving to Nevada, Las Vegas from St. Louis, Missouri, and they need to refer you business, or someone would just like to get in contact with you. What is the best way to get in touch with you, my friend?
My phone number is 702-884-8276. Again, that's 702-884-8276. Or you could just simply email me at sam@cohengroupLV.com. Also, you could just look up my website, cohengroupLV.com.
That's COHEN, correct?
Yep, COHENGROUPLV is in LasVegas.com.
There we go. There we go. All right, Sam, I want to say thank you so much for being here. This was great to chat with you. And I just want to remind everybody, do me a favor, trust the process, and go make some money, okay? You guys take care.
Later, Aaron. Thank you.
All right, take care. You're welcome. Bye-bye.